National Electrical Code Section 430.148b requires a receptacle outlet within 25 feet of stationary heating equipment, like a furnace. Replacing the single receptacle with a duplex will provide two outlets. One outlet can be used for the circulation pump and the other for future use or convenience. GFCIs are not required for circulation pumps or sump pumps unless specifically required by the local authority or electrical inspector. Ensure that the new receptacle is properly wired and grounded. Consider using tamper-resistant receptacles to enhance safety. If the heating unit is located in a bathroom or other wet location, GFCI protection may be required. The primary reason for having a receptacle near heating equipment is for servicing and maintenance. The equipment may need to be plugged in for testing or repair. The 25-foot distance is measured from the equipment's location to the receptacle. If the existing circuit is a 15-amp circuit, using a standard duplex receptacle is fine. If the circuit is rated for 20 amps, then a 20-amp rated duplex receptacle should be installed. Check the circuit breaker or fuse size to determine the circuit amperage. A 15-amp receptacle has both slots shaped like a T. A 20-amp receptacle has one slot shaped like a T. This is so that a 20-amp plug can only be plugged into a 20-amp receptacle. When replacing the receptacle, make sure the power is off. Test the wires with a non-contact voltage tester to ensure the power is off. Connect the black wire to the brass screw terminal, the white wire to the silver screw terminal, and the ground wire to the green screw terminal. Use the same gauge wire as the existing wiring. Number 14 American wire gauge wire is typically used for 15-amp circuits, and number 12 American wire gauge wire is typically used for 20-amp circuits. Do not use aluminum wire with standard receptacles, as it can cause corrosion and fire. Copper or copper-clad aluminum wire should be used. When tightening the screw terminals, make sure the wire is securely connected and the screw is tightened properly. Do not over-tighten the screws, as this can damage the receptacle. Once the wires are connected, carefully fold them into the electrical box and secure the receptacle with screws. Install the cover plate. Turn the power back on at the circuit breaker and test the receptacle with a receptacle tester to ensure it is wired correctly. A receptacle tester will indicate if the wiring is correct, if the ground is open, if the hot and neutral wires are reversed, or if the hot and ground wires are reversed. If the receptacle is wired incorrectly, turn the power off immediately and correct the wiring. If the heating unit is located in a damp or wet location, such as a basement or crawl space, consider using a weatherproof receptacle cover. This will protect the receptacle from moisture and corrosion. Consider the load on the circuit. If the circulation pump draws a significant amount of current, it may be necessary to upgrade the circuit to a 20-amp circuit. Check the nameplate on the circulation pump to determine its current draw. Also, check the rating of the existing circuit breaker to ensure it is adequate. If the circuit breaker trips frequently, it may be necessary to upgrade the circuit. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrician to install the receptacle. Working with electricity can be dangerous and can result in serious injury or death. Always follow proper safety precautions when working with electricity. Always turn off the power before working on any electrical wiring. Always use insulated tools. Wear safety glasses. Follow all applicable codes and regulations. If a GFCI is required, a GFCI receptacle should be installed instead of a standard receptacle. A GFCI receptacle will protect against ground faults, which can cause electric shock. A GFCI receptacle has a test button and a reset button on the front. The test button is used to verify that the GFCI is working properly. The reset button is used to reset the GFCI if it trips. GFCI receptacles should be tested monthly to ensure they are working properly. To test a GFCI receptacle, press the test button. The reset button should pop out. If the reset button does not pop out, the GFCI is not working properly and should be replaced. To reset a GFCI receptacle, press the reset button until it clicks. The receptacle should now be working properly. A heating unit should be plugged directly into the receptacle. Do not use an extension cord, as this can create a fire hazard. Extension cords are not designed to handle the high current draw of heating equipment. If an extension cord must be used, make sure it is a heavy-duty extension cord that is rated for the current draw of the heating equipment. Make sure the extension cord is not frayed or damaged. Inspect the cord regularly. Do not run extension cords under rugs or furniture, as this can create a fire hazard. Keep extension cords away from water and other liquids. Replacing a single receptacle with a duplex is a straightforward task that can be accomplished by most homeowners. However, it is important to follow proper safety precautions and to ensure that the receptacle is wired correctly. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrician. Firstly, determine the existing wiring configuration. Secondly, turn off the power at the circuit breaker. Thirdly, remove the old receptacle. Fourthly, connect the wires to the new receptacle. Fifthly, mount the new receptacle. Sixthly, install the cover plate. Seventhly, turn the power back on. Eighthly, test the receptacle. Remember to consult the National Electrical Code and any local codes or regulations that may apply. Code compliance is essential for safety and can prevent issues during inspections. If you are unsure about any aspect of the installation, seek professional assistance. A qualified electrician can ensure the job is done correctly and safely. Always prioritize safety when working with electricity. Be aware of the potential hazards and take precautions to avoid accidents. Proper grounding is essential for electrical safety. Ensure the receptacle is properly grounded to prevent electric shock. Tamper-resistant receptacles are a good idea, especially if there are children in the home. These receptacles have shutters that prevent objects from being inserted into the slots. Regular maintenance and inspection of electrical equipment are important for safety. Check receptacles and wiring for signs of damage or wear. If you notice any problems, have them repaired promptly. This video provides general information and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician for specific electrical needs. Electrical work can be dangerous if not done properly. Taking the time to do it right is important. Ensure you have the appropriate tools and equipment before starting any electrical project. This includes a non-contact voltage tester, screwdrivers, wire strippers, and pliers. Using the correct tools will make the job easier and safer. When working with electrical wiring, it is important to follow a systematic approach. This will help you avoid mistakes and ensure the job is done correctly. Double-check all wiring connections before turning the power back on. This will help prevent short circuits and other electrical problems.